And at the camera, like people are here.
I gotcha.
Hey everybody, welcome to MomSimply. So it's 12:30 and totally different time than when we normally do this. And we have a special guest, not spooky, but my good friend Shanna.
Hi.
So we met at, when I actually used to be teaching, we worked at Olympia together.
Yep.
And you are still there.
Yeah, I am. It's been almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in the fall that I've been there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So what tier are you?
God, I don't remember, 11 maybe?
Okay.
Because I started off at 4 because I had teaching experience. I had taught in Kansas before I moved here. And then I was a TA for 2 years in the district while I got certified to teach.
Okay.
So my first year I was like at level 4 to start. And then, so I don't know.
What grades are you with right now? Because you're reading
all
teacher.
9. Well, I'm special ed.
Special ed, that's right.
Yep. So I have all 9th grade this year. I have 2 co-taught global 9s, 2 co-taught English 9s, and then 1 support room, which is like, one-on-one tutoring kind of. And that's just 1 period a day. So I like it. I have good kids. I have some squirrely kids this year. I mean, they're 9th graders, but
they're always
I don't really
squirrely.
have anybody that's like mean or nasty. I've had that in the past, and this year there's really none of that, which is nice.
That makes such a difference.
Oh, it really does.
When I taught 8th grade, it was because I'd always taught like upper ed English, and I taught, this is a true story. I was newly pregnant with Autumn, and I told my class, and this is so 8th grade, you're going to appreciate this. I had a girl raise her hand and say, "Mrs. Wilson, how do you feel about losing your thigh gap once you get pregnant?"
That's about right.
And I just looked at her and said, the fact that you know what a thigh gap is and that you're concerned about that makes me really sad for your soul.
I know. Well, it was my first year at Olympia, and Ronan was a surprise. We had tried for a long time and didn't have success, and so we had kind of said,
on the back burner.
It's not going to happen, or if it does, great, and if it doesn't, we'll look into adoption or whatever. And so I was super nervous to tell anybody. So I waited until right after April break, because I hit the 3-month mark, and then I was like, okay, we can tell people. And so I told this one class I had of seniors. I was teaching with Kathy DeGoey. We had 2 classes of seniors, and I told the one, I had brought in, I love her. I had brought in decaf coffee and bagels for them because I had my last observation and it went really well. And so I was like, hey, I'll bring them
celebrate.
So first of all, the decaf coffee, some of the kids were like,
so they were that insightful that
a
they
little
knew.
bit. And then I had said, I told them, and there was this one boy, DeAndre, and he said, Miss, I thought you were looking a little thick in the middle, but I didn't want to offend you, so I didn't say anything. I was like, well, thank you for not saying anything, just in case. Good plan.
But then he was looking a little thick.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then unbeknownst to me, some of my freshmen had also noticed I was looking thick and had asked their science teacher. And so he told them that I was just really stressed out and eating my feelings at lunch and having 2 lunches from the lunchroom. And I remember being like, oh my God. So then I saw him and I said, did you really tell the kids that and he's like, yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. And I'm
That's
like, you're
amazing.
a jerk. Yeah, but that was pretty funny.
That's a good cover.
I mean, I guess it was.
Thinking on your feet.
Yeah. I wasn't that good, but they were, apparently.
They were. And we're going to, if you guys didn't get to watch the, what our show's about. So we have somebody who has been surrounded by military people. And this is a new world to me because I don't have any family members that have ever been in the military. And, you hear military and you hear regimented. And you had shared that your father was in the Army.
He was Air Force.
Air Force, and your husband's Army.
Yeah. Okay. Army. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. When I was thinking about this, the whole routine thing, it certainly, I think, comes from my parents. But I don't know if it's with my dad, and I hope he doesn't get offended if he watches this, but I'm not sure if it's more the Air Force in him or if it was more just his own innate OCD that led to us having such kind of routines. And, I can remember growing up and every Saturday it was the ultimate max out, where no matter what we had planned, we were not able to leave the house until we had cleaned it. From top to bottom.
Saturday.
So, yes.
Okay.
And, my sister and I were like, oh my God. So, you pick a room and you clean it to his satisfaction and then you could go about your day. All the way through high school, we would do this. I see a feather.
I know, I see it too.
And then Brian, so we met in high school and then he went to West Point. So we dated, all through college. And it's funny because he's really as a person overall, nonconformist.
Okay.
And so the fact that he ended up at the military academy, I always found interesting. But he wanted to have a life of service and, go that route. And so, but that being said, he was like a last minute packer and still is. Like even when he was leaving for Iraq,
wow.
he was packing the night before.
Oh, that stresses me out.
Some of his stuff. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so we're going to hang out in the basement for half the night while you pack all your stuff up. This is great. But, whereas if that were me, I would have been, everything would have been done, everything packed and ready to go.
But don't you feel like that's the mind of a woman in general? Yeah. That you were kind of
many.
That you have that Boy Scout mentality,
like
be prepared.
Yeah. Mothers in particular, I feel like. I mean, I think I was like that to an extent prior to being a mom, but especially when Ronan was younger, not as much now, but the diaper bag was always replenished as soon as we got home from anywhere so that it was ready to go on our next outing or whatever.
That's good.
But I don't know if I was that good prior to having a child as far as that kind of stuff goes.
Okay.
I wasn't the girl to have like a sewing kit in her purse, when we'd be out.
Oh yeah, that's
like,
next
I'm not
level.
that good, right? Yeah. But I know some people that are. I'm not that girl. But I just find for myself, and definitely for Ronan, that having a routine, we both kind of thrive with that.
And I think a lot of people do. I see, thanks for those of you that are watching in right now. A lot of I see Steph, Alyssa, Kayla, Alyssa, we're all new mommies.
Hey,
and you're more of like a seasoned mommy because Ronan's obviously a little bit older, so you've been doing it.
Yeah.
And I think especially in that newborn stage, your days and nights kind of blend in together. And when you have
a zombie,
you feel like a zombie.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember I wanted a routine from like the day we got home from the hospital. Like I recently found, I mean, again, I'm going to blame my dad for this, but I was like tracking, his poos and peeps and peeps for way longer than I needed to.
Both.
Yes, that's right. Only because for me, I was trying to figure out some kind of like pattern and like, okay, when can we adjust? And driving myself a little crazy.
Yeah.
And I talked to my grandmother, who is a mother of 7. So I figured any advice coming from her would be good. Yeah. Because she's raised 7 children, mostly single-handedly.
That's wild to me.
So, she's amazing.
That's
I love her
such
so much.
That generation too.
Oh yeah, and she's my idol. I want to be just like her.
And they had no apps that they could refer to. They had no Google.
No, they didn't. I mean, sometimes there weren't even seatbelts in the car for the kids. I mean, but she had said to me, go onto your calendar and circle 120 days out. And I was like, okay, why? And she said, well, because by that point, you will have a better routine established with your baby. What works for you, what works for your baby. And I thought, okay, Grandma. So while I was on the phone with her, I went to my calendar and I flipped up the pages and I, counted out and I circled it. And I thought, okay, I don't know if this is real or what, but fine.
Yeah.
And I struggled to nurse the first few weeks. And I talked to my aunt who had nursed at that point no, I don't know if she had her second yet. Yeah, no, she didn't. So her one daughter had nursed her for quite a while, and she gave me some advice on nursing, and that was really helpful. And so I stuck it out, and I got to where I wanted to be, But yeah, I went back to work right around that 120-day mark because I had 6 months or 6 weeks of paid leave, and then I took an additional 6 unpaid.
Okay, yep.
And by the time
family leave act, right?
By the time I went back to work, we did have a routine down. But it was really driven by Ronan and by the baby.
So you read his signs and kind of what his schedule, like the napping schedule, the feeding schedule, and that became your routine.
It did. So, by the time I went back to work, my routine was I'd wake up at 5:15. I'd pump at the dining room table while the coffee was brewing. Yeah. I'd have my coffee. I'd go get ready for work. I'd leave. When did I leave for work then? Kind of like I do now, probably like 6:15. He wouldn't be up yet, so I'd go in and I'd kiss his head and I'd sniff him in, and then I'd kiss my husband, and I'd leave and go to work. And so, Brian would use that morning milk for his, first, bottle or 2 bottles. I didn't have issues with production, so we always had plenty, which was nice. Brian was at the time working for Pepsi second shift, so he would take him to the sitter's house around lunchtime. Ronan would have a bottle there.
So we got all that morning time too with Dad, which is great.
It was wonderful. And then I would pick him up, like at 3, bring him home, nurse him as soon as we got home. Yeah. We'd have play. I'd go for a walk with him, whatever, and then nurse him again for dinner. And then, he would go down. And I mean, he put himself for the longest time, for think like 2.5 years, his bedtime was 6 p.m.
Wow.
And that was not my doing. It was just the routine that ended up working for him. And everyone thought I was crazy. People at work were like, oh, your baby goes to bed at 6? Like, keep him up later. My mother-in-law, keep him up later. He'll sleep later. No, he won't. Like, he would be up at, whatever, 6:30, no matter what time he went to bed. So,
and that's so good. You had
was.
enough confidence in yourself, because that's one thing and I still kind of struggle with it, especially with family, that when they're trying to give advice, because your kid,
right? And
to be strong in your convictions, to not be like pulled or motivated in a different way.
Yeah, and it is hard. There were times where, what is it? It's extra virgin olive oil, essentially.
Thanks, David.
Yes, David. That is a staple in our house. It's really great. My daughter goes to bed at 6:30 too, and not my choice. Yeah, totally. Alyssa, yes. So there were a few times where I did try to keep him up later, and it was nightmarish. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? He would be screaming. I'd be like, yeah. So it was just 6 p.m. was it. And I can even remember like a couple of my principals saying to me, your baby doesn't really go to bed at 6. And I said, well, yeah, he does. Well, I mean, what do you do? And I'm like, well, after that, I have my evening to myself.
I love it.
I can read, great. I can do laundry, I can make lunches for the next day, like whatever it might be. So it really worked
a dream.
For us. It was great. And even now, like, he goes to bed, so probably right before 7-ish, usually we'll head upstairs. He'll take his shower, brush his teeth, get in his PJs, and then we read together, all of us as a family. So sometimes it's reading a chapter book, like Harry Potter. We've gone through all the Harry Potters except the last one. It's a little too dark. But we'll read together. Like, I'll read some, he'll read some, Brian will read some. And then now, just within the last few weeks, really, he's to the point where he wants to read a little more on his own. So he'll take a chapter book of his choice with his little book light.
That's awesome.
And he'll read, and we tell him, no more than like a half hour or so. The other night, he's like, I stayed up for another 45 minutes. And I was like, okay, well.
I mean, what are you going to say as a parent?
I'm
You're
like, okay,
reading a chapter book.
Please don't do that too often. But yeah, I mean, so by the time I went back to work, kind of circling back to that, we had a decent routine established. And then as he grew older, we had to adjust it here and there. But
do you remember what it was like in the toddler years?
Yeah, exhausting. Yeah, I mean, he was a little bit of a late walker, I think, because he was so ginormous. He was 25 pounds at 9 months old.
Oh my gosh, like as much as Autumn weighs as a 3-year-old.
He was huge.
You're a tall guy.
So he would like roll everywhere for the longest time, I think, because it just was too much to push the bulk up to crawl.
Oh yeah.
So I think he started walking full out, I don't know, 13 months. He had been cruising for months and months and months, but really like full out. And you know how it is, like they go from crawling to like running. So then it was like, he was running everywhere all the time. But even, like at 2, he was going to bed still around 6, but he'd be up at like 5:30.
Okay.
And that's kind of where he lives now, right? Most days you're up at 5:30. Yeah. We have the rule that on the weekends he's not allowed to come into our room until 6:30 because
that's good. Yeah, that's so early. I mean, we even have in our house right now like 7.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great.
Like when Autumn starts stirring, because she comes into bed in the middle of the night.
Oh, she does?
Which we love it. I mean, she's 3. We don't care if she's like cuddling with us in the middle of the night, but she'll start like touching like our face or poking.
And you're like, no, I'm awake.
Yeah, it's like, can we be quiet till like 7? Let's just do.
And it's so hard for them,
So hard for them.
It is because they're awake and they want everybody else.
She's like taking her feet and clapping them. I mean, it's really funny.
Yeah, and cute. It's adorable. So there's part of you that wants to just like engage with that. I'm sure.
Engage with it.
But then the other part of you is exhausted and wants a little more sleep.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
May I have a pencil or pen, please?
Yes, you can look in my bag and see if I have.
I checked.
Oh, I'll get you a pencil. So as I get him a pencil, I want you to think, because how old's Ronan now? You said 9?
7.
7.
Yeah.
I know, he's so tall.
He is tall. Yeah,
so
that doesn't come from us.
I think a lot of parents, I know, because you're how tall are you?
5'4".
5, yeah, that's how tall I am.
That's optimistic.
Oh, I thought you were 5'3".
Okay, maybe.
I'm calling you out.
Yeah, okay, 5'3".
So a lot of parents have midwinter break happening right now.
Yeah.
And I think it can be intimidating, especially when you're so used to your kids going to school. You have this big week. And sometimes you feel like, oh, I want to be like, I feel like I have Monday through Friday, we have to go somewhere and we have to do something.
Yeah.
And everyone's sick. So then you're kind of, do I want to take them someplace?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Totally. Yeah.
So just to kind of give a microscope into what your week looks like.
Yeah.
What you plan that some of us could maybe walk away from.
Okay.
Which would be good.
Yeah. So for us, we don't have everything planned out during breaks. So for this week, for example, I arranged for a couple of play dates. And then Sunday and yesterday, I wasn't even sure if those were going to be able to happen because Ronan wasn't feeling super great. He woke up really stuffy and kind of junky on Sunday, complaining that his ear hurt and his throat was sore. And I was like, oh, great. Yesterday, a little bit more the same. So he really didn't do much yesterday. We just kind of, I oiled him up. I had oil, going in the diffuser overnight in his bedroom and yesterday during the day, like in the house. But then we usually will have like a play date or two. So whether that, like, we're going to have a friend come over to our house. We also might try to meet some friends out, like at Bounce It Out or something.
Our play date's so nice
day.
because I feel like the kids benefit and you benefit because you get to hang out with the adult.
Yeah, well, and sometimes, like, for this particular kiddo, his family has family in town. So she said, oh, would it be okay if I dropped him off?
Nice.
And I said, oh, yeah, drop him on off and they can play and I can read or do my own thing. It's fine. And because it's been so warm, outside time. So even Sunday when he wasn't feeling super great, we went for a walk in the neighborhood over to like the little market and came back. And but we still tend to stick to our typical routine, like getting up. I don't get up as early as I normally do during the week when we have breaks. I let myself sleep in a little bit to like 6:30 or 7. But Rose usually up, early.
Do you do
in his room
breakfast at the same time every day?
Pretty much, yeah. We do breakfast right around the same time, lunch typically right around the same times, and dinners too. He still has karate this week, so we'll go to that tonight. We usually go on Thursdays, but we're going to go on Tuesday this week just to get it out of the way a little bit early. And then sometimes we'll go see a movie or we'll go out to lunch. We're going to meet friends out to lunch or for dinner on Thursday at Swill Burger. Have you been there?
No.
Me neither, but I'm excited. Apparently it's like an old church that's been turned into this restaurant, but there's all kinds of old arcade games and stuff.
That's awesome. Where's that located?
South Wedge. I can't remember if it's...
That's a cool area in Rochester.
It is, yeah. My friend Lisa, who I co-teach with, her son Mason is 16, and he and Ro are buddies. Mason will babysit for us sometimes, and so we're going to go out to dinner with them. Yeah, that would be fun. And then, on the times where it's too yucky out to do anything outside, I feel like those are a little more challenging. So some of the winter breaks can be challenging because, like he'll want to be outside playing, but if it's too cold, it's not possible. But,
and you don't want to just, here's your DS or here's TV movie time.
Yep, yeah. And, he'll do TV time in the mornings. We're big fans of PBS.
I love, by the way, did anyone notice PBS this morning? Daniel Tiger was all in Spanish.
Oh.
It was the most random.
No, what did
the
you watch?
commercials
Arthur,
were in English,
right?
but all of Daniel Tiger, both shows were totally in Spanish.
That's interesting.
Mommy
goes, was purposeful or
I know
or not. I don't know.
I didn't either. And Autumn kept going, Mommy, is the TV broken? Why is Daniel talking in Spanish? I was like, I don't know. Maybe you'll learn something. I think you know this episode.
Wait. When it's in high, was it like Hola?
Yeah, everything. Even all the songs, Ronan, were in Spanish.
Jeez.
It's very confusing.
It is.
Yeah.
I know. Excuse me.
So routines are, I think it's something that it's needed. And I think the problem can be, though, when you get off your routine because, like, we're going on vacation or we're traveling or we have a birthday party or, like, just a weekend packed with things. And I know if we're out of, like, if we miss a nap, for example, or bedtimes are pushed back, Autumn is a bear. Yep. Like, such a bear.
Yeah.
Has he outgrown that, or is that still something that you deal with?
He pretty much has at this point, although he'll get tired, and like kind of whiny. And so sometimes we'll know, like, okay, like, you're tired, aren't you? No, like, will not admit, tiredness. Once in a blue moon, he was determined this year for New Year's to stay up. And so it was the first time I thought, well, okay, fine, we'll try it. He didn't make it. I think he made it till about 10 o'clock and then he was out. And so then we tried to rouse him for, like, to watch the ball drop because that's what he really wanted. And I took video of it on my phone. It was hysterical because he would not wake up. I mean, we had him sitting upright and he was like, and just wouldn't. So I was like, struggling. So then he finally, woke up. I thought he woke up enough. And then the next morning, which he was still up pretty early. It was like 6:30. But
Yeah.
the next morning he was like, I didn't even get to see the ball drop. I'm like, what do you mean? I woke you up for it. And he's like, no, you didn't. I said, yes, I did. I have video proof. And he was like, and so I showed him the video and he was laughing. And he's like, I don't remember any of that. And I was like, well, guess what? Next year when you ask to stay up, the answer is no.
Yeah, because clearly that's not going to happen.
Yeah. But when we went to San Francisco over the summer, and so with the time change, and just kind of being in a whole new place and whatever. I mean, he was going to bed much later most nights that we were there than normal, but he did all right with it. There was a lot of walking, and so there were a few days where we had a lot of, my feet hurt, but it was all too bad. We are not where we need to be yet, so we're going to keep walking,
awesome.
But I think he slept really well every night.
Oh, he probably slept. It was probably a dream.
Oh, yeah. He was out every night.
You were talking about how you had chores a lot growing up, and this is something I think about with Autumn, because she's 3 and she's very not mindful. I mean, what 3-year-old is, but about just leaving messes and getting something else out. And I'm in my head thinking, when do you start introducing that world?
Pretty early. For us anyway, it happened right around that time. And Ronan knew that if, I told him to put something away and he didn't do it.
Like, what's early on for you?
Like 3-ish.
Okay.
If things didn't get put away when mommy asked, they would go in the closet.
Okay, so you hold that toy then.
And then he wouldn't see it for, whatever, a few days. And for him, that felt like a month. And he'd be like,
oh, yeah.
So I can remember times where he'd be like, don't put it in the closet. I'm going to put it away. Because I'd give him the warning, okay, time, if you're done with that stuff, you need to pick it up, get it up off the floor. Okay. And then if I, would go about my stuff and come back and it'd still be there, I'd be like, oh, well, I guess it's going in the closet. Or before I could say it once in a while, I'd be like, no, okay, don't put it in the closet, mommy. You get it. But there were other times where, nope, it's going in the closet. And, next time, hopefully you're more responsible. And, there were tears and,
oh, I'm sure.
Sometimes I'd want to just snatch it back down and give it to him. But I wanted him to take care of his things,
Well, it's the consistency piece.
It is.
And I mean, I know even Lee and I struggle with that we do, like, I swear sometimes we give, like, 50 chances.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do what works for you, too. Like, my sister's philosophy is very different. Like, for me, if Ronan did something wrong with a particular toy or did something, he would go into timeout.
Right.
And, like, my sister does it a little differently, where the item that they were using or whatever, that goes into timeout. I think it just depends on what works for people. That worked for us.
Yeah, I've heard of that too, that if you're using said thing inappropriately, then you pull that.
Right. So I think
there's so many different
there are, and I feel like, there's no one size fits everything. You really just have to figure out what works for you. I planned 3 dates this week to keep the kiddos busy. Yeah, I mean,
that's really good.
You kind of have to, right? Yeah, that is good. And sometimes that's just good sanity for yourself. I mean, there are times where if he's playing with the kiddo from across the street for a while, I'm like, yes, like a chapter of my book read.
Oh,
and
I had
in the living room or whatever, and read through real quick or whatever. Yeah.
That little girl who lives down the street. If I could recommend anything, find an older friend for your kid.
Yeah.
And this is going to sound terrible, but it almost, I don't want to say it's like a babysitting, because a 7-year-old's clearly not going to be babysitting your 3-year-old, but having that friendship.
Yeah.
They're responsible. They can kind of introduce and come up with idea and games that you can at least be, I'm going to clean the kitchen or make food while you guys are entertained.
Yep.
And it is awesome.
Yep. Yeah,
I love when Lila comes to play.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. And having somebody close is great. There's the kiddo across the street that Ronan really is pals with, but then we've got other kids that are like around one corner and around the other. And, it's nice to be able to text and say, hey, is your kiddo available to play this afternoon? Would you like him to come over here? And sometimes they'll say, oh yeah, great. I'll send him over at 1:30. Or, well, would you mind sending Ronan over here to play? And so really, even now, I'm not super keen on sending him out of my eye line to go to a house.
Mm-hmm. So we were talking about that before.
Yeah, sometimes I'll walk him halfway. Or if they're on their bikes, I'll text the mom and say, okay, they're coming right now. Let me know when they get there. I don't know, just because people can be not nice, right? And so I just want to err on the side of caution with that. Other parents that I know are like, yeah, my kid's down and around the block, I think, or,
it's more 70s style parenting.
Yeah, and to me, I'm like, you think? What do you mean? Find out for sure. But again, it's whatever people are comfortable with. I know as far as like our routine now is nice because he is, so much more self-sufficient. But even now, like from the time he was, I don't know, probably a year old, honestly, I would set out clothes the night before, no matter what.
Helpful.
For him.
Okay.
So, and even now we do that. He's, the
Does he fight you at all?
I mean, I
maybe
think
it's yeah.
Maybe I'm being sexist, but
I think
really
you're kind of probably right.
Doesn't really care, like, oh, you want to wear this T-shirt tomorrow? Yeah, great. Or if he doesn't like that, then he'll just pick a different one, and it's no big deal. But I know my friends that have girls, and it sounds a little different.
It's so different, and I think it's part of self-expression, right? And being able to, like, if she's in a girly mood, she really wants to wear her twirly skirt or her dress, and trying to think of, I've learned to, because I've always wanted a girl, and you want to, like, dress them well, and you have that, well, it's like an example of how I'm setting you into the world, and I try to
reflects on you in some way, right? Yeah,
I want her to look like a little orphan Annie,
right?
So I'll in my head be like, okay, this is your issue, and she's really proud of this.
Yes.
So, like, she's dressed weather appropriate. I don't care, wear whatever you want. So I've been trying to let her,
have some say of that.
I
think that's smart. Well, and even well, he picked out his outfit today, and he did pretty good. There are sometimes where he'll come out with something, and I'm like, no, that doesn't match. And he'll be like, what? I'm like, it's like navy blue and some other. I'm like, no, you gotta like
too micromanage.
Yeah, a little, just pick something that's like, this color. And so he'll go in and get, gray pants to go with the navy blue shirt or whatever, and it's a little better.
An improvement.
Because again, I don't want him looking like a complete crazy
I know.
person, but at the same time, I want him to have choice, and I don't want to be, nitpicking everything. But I set out my stuff. Sometimes I'll pick it all out on Sunday night, and then I stick with it, like, for the week.
Really?
Yeah, because otherwise I'm too wishy-washy. Like, if I wait to do it in the mornings, no, it doesn't work, because then I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, because I dress on mood. Like, if I know I do, if I'm in, like, a mood, I'm, like, in my blacks and my grays.
Right, yeah. And see, for me, like, I'll pick it out, I'll look at the weather, and then I'll say, okay, this is what I'm going to wear each day, and then I stick to it.
That's awesome.
Because otherwise I'll be there for 20 minutes in the morning.
Just staring. Hoping the clothes will speak to you.
I mean, it's complete, like, obviously first world problems, it's
Very
pretty
true.
Ridiculous to have that be a problem. But this is what I do, and I set it all out. And then even if I don't like the outfit, I wear it, because it is during the week, because I'm up at like 4:30.
That's why Steve Jobs always wear the same thing.
Right.
And a lot of, well, maybe you're a genius, Shanna, because literally, I mean,
I don't think so, but
probably. Because I think that's a commonality of people. It's one less thing for your brain to be spending energy on.
Right.
So a lot of people who are high functioning and have, are really like proactive and have a lot on their schedule and plate, having something already picked or a uniform of what you wear often makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I don't wear the same things, like, each week. And, like, I try to vary it, but I do have to do it on Sundays, because if I don't, then I'm way too wishy-washy during the week. And now I'm trying to think how many nights a week we're running around right now. I think three nights a week we have something that, like, right now. So he's got wrestling twice a week, and then karate is a mainstay. We do that all year long since he was like 4.
Wow.
That's just once a week. Now, some people go more than that. We just go once a week. But there are times too, like if he's doing swimming, where we might be 3 to 4 nights a week having something in the evening. So yeah, I can't imagine adding on to that.
No.
The ridiculousness of picking out my outfit for work.
No. Yeah, no, thank you.
And I have to be mindful,
really good
because
advice.
I work with teenagers, and they are brutally honest. Sometimes.
Yeah, anyone who has never, or like who's not in the teaching field, you're constantly on display.
Yeah, like, Miss, you're looking tired today. Am I? Gee, I missed that in the mirror today. Thanks.
Yeah, forgot to put on the concealer.
Yeah, Anthony, I'll never forget this kid years ago. Ronan was not even a year yet, so it was my second year there. He was still a baby, and I don't know, I didn't really do a lot with my hair. Not that I do a ton now even, but he wanted to give me advice on my frizziness. Miss, the hair has been looking pretty frizzy. Let me tell you what my mom does with my sister. I'm like, Anthony, when I want hair advice from a 9th grade boy, I'll let you know. Okay, till then.
This is the best you're going to get today, and for a while.
Yeah, so thanks.
I used to take a lot of time getting ready prior to children, and now, it's, every mother has this, right? You become like an afterthought, and you just I have clothes on my body, and I cover it up, so if I bend over and I'm reaching kids, my bitties aren't hanging out. That's what goes into my brain.
Yeah. Well, and for me, at work, it's like I don't want anything showing.
Nothing.
So there's a scarf, or it's like a collar like this, or if it's a button-down shirt, I have
cami
underneath it because you
need the cami because
yeah.
you get the peekaboo with the buttons.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
No. But yeah, especially when you have little ones too. I mean, I did a lot of tunics and leggings, a lot of just quick, easy jeans and tees and things that were washable always because I didn't have time to dry clean, first of all, and didn't want to pay for it when he was super little. But also, I mean, they'll come up to you with stuff on their hands or on their face.
Oh,
and they give you a hug,
yeah.
and then you're like, oh.
I have so many things that are stained. I have mom clothes I wear now.
Yeah.
That are just mom things.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
It's so helpful.
I mean, yeah. Like here, I'm wearing this mom shirt today.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. I have my mom clothes. I'm like, oh, we have a date night.
Yeah.
It's on a blue moon. I'm going to wear my date night shirt.
Yeah. My date night shirt and my date night sweats.
Yeah. Sexy.
But it's important that you build in the date time too.
Oh,
even if it's an at-home on the couch date.
So
that's huge.
That's made a big difference for us. Yeah. And I think it gets on the back burner, especially when you're like first new into babies.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I want Shanna to talk about too. So we kind of were discussing, the importance of routines if you're just joining in. And then secondly, essential oils. So everybody under the sun, this season of flu, of colds, ear infections, stomach bugs, I feel so bad for so many of my friends with school-age children, or they're in daycare or an at-home daycare service where you're just around germs. And it's a petri dish. And everything circulates and rotates.
Yep. It can be really nasty. Yeah.
It's terrible.
It is. I was telling Amanda earlier that when Ronan went to preschool for the first time, it was like a full day program and he was sick all the time. And I had thought that maybe I had built his immune system up enough because I sent him to an in-home daycare where, there were a couple other kids and the one boy, Caitlin, our daycare provider, her son had been going to school that last year that Ronan was there. So I thought, oh, he's bringing home germs all the time. I bring home germs from school. So surely this child will, his immunity will be great. Well, no. And so we got about halfway through that year with him and he was just sick all the time, runny nose or cough or fever or, ear infection. So a friend of mine,
we're living at the doctor probably. And
it was crazy. Yes. Yeah. And we don't have family around here. So it was always, because I had more time off as a teacher, I just built into my, contract. I was typically the person that would take off. My husband had time too, but it wasn't nearly the same. So, I felt like I was missing a lot of work that year. And so one of my other friends through Facebook land had said, hey, you should get in touch with my friend Jackie. She, does essential oils and it really helps her girls. So I said, okay. So I sent her an email and just started learning more about essential oils and what they can do for people and thought, well, I'll take this leap. And I bought a starter kit through Young Living and they made a big difference with him. The Thieves blend.
So what are essential oils? Because I know for me, it's, Shanna made these like cute little packages, for example.
So the oils themselves come in these, little itty bitty bottles and they're essentially the best part of the plant that's been distilled down to the essential oil of it.
Okay.
So like, for example, some of them are really pricey, like rose oil, for example, I really want to get. I'm saving up my
that's for your skin,
essential reward points for it because a bottle, like a 5 ml bottle is like $90.
Oh my
because it takes so many rose petals to get so much oil, But other oils that are really great for immunity, like some of the citrus oils, lemon, orange, tangerine oil, those are really affordable and a little goes such a long way. Like in the immunity roller, for example, that I made here. So there's 4 drops each of Thieves, lemon, and oregano. They're all immunity building. And then I fill it with a carrier oil. I use grapeseed oil because it's non-comedogenic and I have super sensitive
What
skin,
does that mean?
So it won't clog your pores.
Okay.
And it's just a good overall, I guess, blender. But the oils are oil sort of based. So you want to use an oil as a carrier oil for it to absorb into your skin. So like water will dilute it too much and not necessarily have it soak in like you want. But a carrier oil will carry it kind of into your cells better.
Okay.
Some people will use like almond oil or coconut oil, but I've just gone with grapeseed since I started. Plus, I get nervous with those other oils. Like, what if somebody has an allergy to nuts? Does that mean they're allergic to that oil too? I don't know, and I don't want to take that chance.
That's a really good point. Where do I put my oil? So say I get an oil, and I'm really excited about it. What do I do with it?
Yeah, so like for this, and like Ronan has his own in his room that he uses, and I have my own that I've made too. So this you would apply, so for immunity, I always put it like where your glands are, kind of on your neck.
Oh.
So he'll put them there, and then on the bottoms of your feet, because different parts of your feet, like in Chinese medicine, right, relate to different systems in the body.
Right.
So for like your head and stuff, like your big toes, and then kind of an arch. I usually do like an arc kind of under the rest of your toes. So a lot on the big toe, and then kind of like this on the under the other toes. And then Ronan always rubs his little feet together, like in a butterfly position, you know? And then,
that's so cute.
Yeah, you can also apply it to like the inner part of your arm. If it's like a mood roller, or you've made, like I have one that I use.
You made
at
this
work.
happy one.
Yeah, so I have one of these myself that I keep in my room. But I also have one that I used at work that has like joy and white angelica, which is a really beautiful smelling oil that helps to combat negativity and negative energy.
Yeah.
So I have that for at work, and I'll put that on like on my wrists and on my temples, just a little roll. And you can even, if you have like peppermint oil, for example, one of the samples is peppermint. You can put like a single drop into your hands and like inhale it.
And will that clear up your sinuses?
Yeah, it can big time. Peppermint's also really great as an aid for fever reduction. So if you have a little one who has a bad fever, you can use a little bit of peppermint oil sort of on the base of their skull, and then down both sides of their spine. And it just helps to promote like cooling. I've done that with Ronan before in conjunction with like a cold washcloth on the head or whatever. And then like my friend Bridget uses peppermint oil for headaches. It's a really good one to help with headaches.
I've heard that to put it on your temples,
right?
right?
You put it on your temples. Again, you can do the inhalation of it. She'll diffuse that. Peppermint's also a good one if you're feeling yucky, like your belly. Like I have IBS and other belly issues. So, every day at work, I have a big glass water bottle, and I put like 2 drops of peppermint oil in, I don't know, a bottle like the size of yours, 20 ounces or so. And I shake it up, and then I drink that all day at work.
And that calms belly issues, really?
Yeah, peppermint's huge for that. My husband likes to put peppermint oil in his tea at night. So 1 drop, again, they're very strong, right? Because it's, distilled down. So 1 drop really can go a long way. You can diffuse it too. I know my friend,
someone wrote actually, Robin, what's a good essential oil to diffuse for boosting your immune system?
Yeah, so Thieves is amazing. That's
what
my
is
go-to.
Thieves?
Yep, so it's my go-to oil. It's a blend that Young Living has. Other companies, like I know doTERRA is a big one. I've just gone with Young Living because that's what my friend had, and after learning about the company, I really like them. They have a seed to seal guarantee, so they guarantee that everything is, from the start to the end product, is sourced ethically. So they go to all different countries around the world, but they source it, ethically. They pay their people well, and I'm not a super religious person at all, really, but I do like that the founder of the company, he is a very religious man, and he actually came on to sort of learning about essential oils years and years and years ago when he was in Europe. And Thieves is something he came across there. So during the time of the plague in Europe, there was a band of thieves going around and robbing dead bodies. It's kind of morbid, but they weren't getting sick. And so after looking into like, well, what were these people doing that they weren't getting sick? They were using these blends of spices that they were inhaling and keeping on their persons. And it's believed, it's a legend, I don't know how true it is, but it's believed that it helped their bodies fight, the disease. So it's a blend of cloves and cinnamon, eucalyptus, lemon, and I know I'm forgetting one other ingredient, but
it smells like a chai or like a tea
it's
a little
very
bit.
Spicy. Yep. And that's a great one for immunity. I mean, as an adult, you can apply it to yourself full strength. I love making a tea with it. So I'll take a drop of Thieves, a drop of lemon oil, and a drop of peppermint in tea, like green tea with a little bit of honey. Sometimes I'll even put a drop of Thieves into like my chai tea. It gives it a little added spiciness, but the Thieves, again, I'm getting that immunity support. And
have you noticed a difference since you've been using these with?
Well, I mean, he was super, like, I didn't think we were going to be able to come today, honestly. Like yesterday, he was so stuffy and yucky.
Yeah, we almost had to do this virtually.
I
got a text message saying, I don't want to like bring sniffles into your home. I'm worried.
Yeah, and I diffused Thieves all day Sunday, all day yesterday in the house. And then in his bedroom last night, we used Raven, which is a really strong, it almost smells like Vicks. It's a really strong like eucalyptus blend. And he's been applying his immunity roller and he's so much better today. It's crazy.
That's amazing.
Like he woke up today and said, wow, I'm still kind of stuffy, but like I feel a lot better. And I said, yeah, you sound a lot better. You look better. So I don't know. You know, my husband used to make fun of me a lot at the beginning. He's like, oh, this is, what do we call it? Like snake oil. And like, you know,
a lot of people think like, oh, it's very hippy dippy.
Yeah.
Put your oils on.
And it is, but I'll tell you, our results have been really great with it. You know, my husband has had trouble sleeping for a long time, and he uses, there's a blend they have called Tranquil. He uses that one a lot. And then I use Valor, which is a blend, again, that they have to help me sleep. And that's made a huge difference. And it smells amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I just smell it because I like how good it smells.
Well, so much better than just lighting a candle in your house to get a scent.
Well,
but you're
and
putting good
candles
things.
put stuff up into the air that you don't realize, whereas oils don't do that, which is why I like it. And, you know, like, actually, it's funny. Ronan had asked, well, you know, what's the difference? Like, can't anybody buy oils anywhere? And like, you can find them at Wegmans. You can find them, you know, at pharmacies and stuff. The only problem is, you know, you just don't know for sure
the
what
quality or what's in it.
Yeah. And sometimes, you know, they might add olive oil, for example, into it, or another type of oil, and it's not as pure as you might find through one of the bigger companies. So, you know, I'm certainly not a salesperson at all. But if you're interested in it, you know, holla at me or go onto Young Living's website and check them out. I think they have some really amazing things to offer. And yeah, you know, I've been diffusing at school, and I have like a little travel diffuser that I put drops of oil on this little pad, and then there's a fan that kind of runs and diffuses. And the kids, if I don't have it out, the kids are like, where are your oils? Like, why doesn't it smell like tea in here today? Why doesn't it smell like peppermint today? And I'm like, sorry, I forgot. Get it out, you know. And so now part of my routine in the morning is to get it out. As soon as I get to work, I get it out so I don't forget it.
But see, your kids crave routine.
Yeah,
they really do.
Yeah.
And when something's amiss or different, it throws them off a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. I mean, they definitely notice, and especially, you know, like we said before, appearances. But, you know, when they're used to like my desk looking a certain way, if it's not on there, they're like, hey, oh, sorry, I put it away earlier or whatever, you know.
I'll get it out.
Sorry, kids. Yeah.
Well, you brought up too that some of these are mood boosting. And I know with a lot of women, when during pregnancy or, you know, postpartum, and hormones can do really crazy things to a lady, and it can be a struggle.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I wish I had known about oils postpartum for myself, because it wasn't right away, but probably about 6-7 months after I had Ronan, I was struggling big time with depression, and I had a really difficult time for a number of months. And, you know, looking back, I wish I had had access or knowledge of this stuff, because I totally would have taken people up on it. Young Living has some really specific ones that are aimed at hormone balancing. Like I had a hysterectomy last year in December. And
that does a number on you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I kept my ovaries, you know, I had a partial one, but it was, it was pretty crazy. And so
did you feel an impact right away? Like,
you know, right away, it was more, I was concerned about healing correctly.
Right.
You know, I had it laparoscopically done. So I had some incisions, you know, I had to take care of, and I was just exhausted. I mean, that's what I wasn't prepared for, I think, is it was exhausting. So I had 6 weeks off of work. I probably should have taken longer in hindsight. So I was just, my energy was really, really low. And then I started experiencing like, you know, hot flashes and night sweats. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on?
Because it throws you into full menopause.
Yeah. And it was really uncomfortable. And so I went on to Young Living's site and just started looking around and asked some questions of some of my fellow oily peeps that are out in Facebook land. And I got something called Progessence Plus, which is a blend made from yam extract, which I thought was interesting, but it mimics like estrogen.
Okay.
And then another one called Endoflex, which is for like thyroid support. And my mom has hypothyroidism, like Hashimoto's disease. So half of her thyroid is gone. And she also, because of that, she has not been able to like really use a lot of the meds that are out there to help women with like menopausal symptoms, right? Because of the medicine she takes for that. So I sent her Progessence Plus too. And so she's, you know, was using that all last year to kind of help her sleep and whatnot.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there's some really cool things, you know, that are out there that I wish I had known, because it helps my moods, you know, for sure. The night sweats were gone after using it for probably a week straight. I noticed, I was like, oh, I didn't wake up last night drenched in sweat.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, but that happens too, because I can remember as a breastfeeding mama, like, you know, getting back from the hospital, and I don't know if it was like from breastfeeding or just my hormones adjusting, but I can remember waking up
dripping.
And I was like, what is this? Like,
I think it's all that water weight. I think your body's expelling.
I think it was so disgusting.
I had it bad with Autumn, and then I had a miscarry between Autumn and Morgan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was a week, like I knew for a week. It was a very strange. I found out in the emergency room because I thought I was having appendicitis or something.
Okay.
But I ended up being pregnant.
Oh, geez.
And then they're like, well, it might be ectopic. And it was this whole stressful week.
Yeah.
But I knew something was amiss because during that whole week, I was dripping every time I woke up. So my hormones were all over the place.
And your body was trying to tell you something.
Something was wrong. But that dripping feeling, you must need to change your sheets.
Oh, yeah. It was really gross. Yeah. So, you know, if any of you are suffering from any kind of hormone adjustment type stuff, there are definitely things that can help you. And even if you don't want to go, you know, that crazy route, even something as simple as, you know, applying peppermint, you know, can help cool your body down. So
that's so helpful to know.
And I love it in my water. I really do. So if you have belly issues or you just want even something that's a little more refreshing than plain water, add just a drop and see what you think. But don't use it in plastic. That's the biggest thing I think I learned quickly with oils is not to use particularly ones that are citrus based, because over time it can leach out some of the chemicals from the plastic into
like the acidity water. Probably it's breaking it down.
Yeah. So
that's really good.
Glass bottles or glasses are better to use with it than a plastic bottle.
So those of you that are like, oh, I've never heard about essential oils, or maybe you know all about them and know that you really want, like, for example, an immunity roller, which is awesome. Shanna put together this really awesome roller for you. And she actually labeled everything, how to put it on, because she's a teacher and amazing. So
habits.
Yeah, so good habits, like apply to bottoms of feet she has. And she also says exactly what's in it, which is so nice. So if you want a chance to win this, there's a 3-step process.
Yep.
First, make sure to like our little chat video. Make sure to share it on your profile page because maybe someone else wants to learn about essential oils. And then make sure to comment and say, ooh, I love the idea of essential oils, or I've never heard about essential oils.
Right. Or my kid's been sick 8 times this year and I would like to try something that might boost their immunity or at least get us out of the doctor's office all the time.
Yeah.
Totally hear you. Yeah, been there.
It's just exhausting. And
it is sometimes.
It makes you, I know for me, I want to get out of the house because our winter's been so hard and I'm so terrified to take the girls anywhere that I've told Autumn that the museum's closed. So little white lie.
Yeah, but I mean, it is hard because I can remember when Ronan was little. Yeah, I mean, I was telling you this earlier. Every single time we went to the Strong, without fail, he ended up with some kind of heinous cold.
Because
every
they
time.
can't, I mean, because they wipe down and clean,
right?
As much as keep up with the demand.
Right.
One kid touches something, licks their hand, touches something else.
Yep.
And then your kid's coming right behind and putting their hands in their mouth.
No, and well, even at the high school, I mean, my students make fun of me because I Lysol wipe our door handles every morning and our keyboards and the phone, and they're like, "Are you a germaphobe, miss?" I'm like, "Yes, I am actually, especially in this place. It is a petri dish. Yes, I'm wiping everything down every day."
I don't want the flu.
No, I don't.
And I don't want my kid getting sick for the umpteenth time.
No, that's very true. Definitely not. So, yeah, let us know.
Let us know. So like, share, and comment. And then also I want you to talk about, so she brought me samples for my postpartum hair. Now you guys all know about my postpartum hair. I'm no shy to talking about this. So you can see.
Yeah, but it's growing.
Look at this. Ready? It was all around my hairline. Look at this. So I have these like weird bangs. This isn't because I did like a botched hairdressing job. This is all just new growth coming in.
But that's good.
Hair.
Yeah, the new growth is good that's coming in. It just, I know.
A lot of people, and it's curly and weird. And it's so different, my hair texture.
Yeah, isn't it funny how that happens?
Yes.
It's so bizarre. No, I know.
Pregnancy, like what it just does, it's just all bizarre. It's amazing and bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, it's really fascinating, I think, the changes that occur in our bodies. I mean, I can remember being in labor and my internal monologue was completely crazy. Externally, I was like, I'm he who breathing, and we had Taylor Swift.
He who breathing, yeah.
Taylor Swift on the TV.
Okay.
No, it was like, I don't know what channel we landed on, some MTV or VH1. I don't even know, but we couldn't figure out how to use the sound. And this one Taylor Swift video kept coming through every, however many minutes. I don't know. I still wish I knew what song it was too, because I'm like, that was what I kept looking at throughout labor. But I can remember, so my labor was really pretty fast. Like I woke up, kind of crampy and yucky and went to the bathroom and was like, oh, I think I should call the hospital,
Oh, okay.
And they were like, oh, come on in. Yeah, sounds like you've started, and I was like, okay. So I'm getting dressed and Brian wakes up and it's like, do I have time to take a shower? I'm like, nope, I don't think so. You gotta go. And I had the bag.
That's amazing for your first one to be so confident in what your body was doing.
I guess,
not.
but then so we get there and I do the hee-hoo for hours, and I shouldn't complain. It was like a 7-hour from start to finish. So
that is really good.
Yeah. And but the doctor came in to check and was like, oh, did you want something for the pain? And at that point I was like, well, maybe. She's like, okay. And so she lays me down and then she's like, oh, no, you're ready. We're ready to push. And I'm like, oh, okay, great.
So nothing, you had nothing.
No, I didn't have anything. And that was my plan. So I was glad I was able to stick to it. But, but during the pushing of it, I can remember internally being like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die on this table. I'm going to have an aneurysm or da-da-da. And then the rational part of me would come in on the backside of that and be like, no, women have been having babies forever in fields and caves and hugging trees. And, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And then the other crazy part of me, like the whole half hour of the pushing process.
That's phenomenal.
And then, he was out and everything was fine. But crazy the whole time. Mm-hmm.
Were you a screamer? Because when I was a low moaner. I was so
I didn't make
internal.
Any sound.
Nothing.
It was all just throughout labor, it was literally, I did.
You did the Lamaze breathing.
Yeah, the whole time, squeezing onto my husband's sweatshirt sleeve.
Yeah.
I tried to labor in the tub for a little bit, but it was too hot, and I was like, well, no, get me out. I'm gonna throw up. So I didn't throw up, but no sounds. And then I had gestational diabetes, so I had, there was this ridiculous team of people in there. And then he came out so fast that he didn't cry at first. They actually had to suction.
Did he have the amniotic stuff? That happened with Morgan.
Oh, it was so scary. They took him and bent him in half, and I was like, oh, I'm watching it, and they're just sucking, and all this stuff is coming out of him. And then he cried, and he was fine, but that was frightening. I was like, oh, what's happening?
That happened with Morgan, and that whole first night, she was so fussy because it was still in her tummy, the amniotic fluid.
Poor thing.
And she'd hack up, and you'd have to help her get it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Poor thing. Yeah, that's not fun. But again, I wish I'd known about essential oils because I could maybe had something diffusing to, I don't know.
Yeah, calm you out a little bit.
At least my crazy mind.
After you had your baby, and we all have that weird, mine always was at the 4-month mark where my body expels my hair. I sneeze and I would lose a chunk.
Right.
It felt of hair.
Yeah.
And I was bald, this whole patch.
Yeah, a lot of women have experienced that.
Yeah, just completely went away.
Mine thinned a lot. I can remember showering, after getting home and just a lot more.
It's terrifying.
And I was like, whoa, that's interesting. Okay. But you're such a zombie at that point, and you're just so happy to have your baby home and happy to be home. And I was just so exhausted that I didn't really pay much attention to it. But then, no, I have other friends though that really suffered a lot of hair loss. And that's scary because and I don't think, I certainly don't remember my doctor.
And you feel like a troll. I felt like I looked like Gollum.
Oh my God. I don't think you even at your worst could ever look like Gollum.
I would make
But I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you try to do your hair, and I remember from Morgan's
trying
baptism
to
pictures, I had to do a Donald Trump comb over to try to cover it.
Yeah.
So you talked about is it Monet? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, so Monet. Yeah, so it's this company that I just learned about last year because a girlfriend of mine from high school, actually, who's in Texas now, had posted something about it. And I liked it because, again, I'm a little crunchy like you, and it's naturally based. And I was like, that's interesting. Let me find out more about this. So I looked into it, and I contacted her, and, we had conversations, and I started using it. And so it's recently been Blue Bunny certified, meaning it's the products that they use are healthy and not crazy and harmful.
They don't test on animals or anything, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I love the story of the company too. The founders, the parents were immigrants to this country, worked really hard, sort of have built this business. Their children are now sort of the forerunners of, running the company and whatnot. And I just thought, well, that's kind of a quintessentially American story, coming here for a better life and whatever. And I liked that about it. But I started using it myself. just to kind of see my hair. I don't know. It's, I'm certainly no amazing person with my hair. I'm not a hairstylist. I
know, neither am I.
I wish I was sometimes, because I wish I could do some.
Or like the people that are really good with makeup and they have their brushes and they're like, I'm using number 24 MAC and they're contouring. I tried to contour once. I literally looked like a drag queen because I have sharp features to begin with, and was it
too much?
Oh my gosh, it was so emasculating.
I've never even tried because I know
it was terrible. It was awful.
So I started using it. I went through crazy detox, right? So the company refers to it as like adjustment or whatever, hair adjustment. And so my hair looked okay, but it felt waxy. And that's all the toxins like working out of your hair,
really?
Right? From all the crazy products I'd tried over the years to make my hair look the way I want. So some people experience that for like a couple weeks and it's gone. I went through 3 straight months. It worked its way down. So like it started up like toward my scalp and then slowly it was like down toward the bottoms of my hair. And I can remember, like texting with my friend and being like, oh my God, I don't know. And she'd be like, just stick with it. I promise you won't be, first of all, the company has a 30-day money back guarantee, but I went past that and still was like, oh, and she's like, but I promise, just stick with it and you will not regret this. You won't regret it. And I was like, okay, I don't know. Well, I'm so glad I did because here we are, I don't know.
Are you using it currently?
Mm-hmm.
Can I touch your hair?
Yeah, you can. Well, this is second day hair too. Just keep that in mind. I didn't wash it today.
I feel like I have to wash mine every day.
Well, I did it first.
Because it feels dirty.
Right. I did it first. It's so much better now. It's kind of yucky because I curled it today.
It feels very like thick though and
but
healthy.
Yeah, and that's the
long.
thing. And I've never been able to grow my hair like I would always kind of get here and like
slow down.
Yeah, or stop, and then I'd get sick of it, and so I chop it all off. So I really like it, but the thing I think is cool is there are several systems, that they have. My mom is using their intense renewal therapy, they call it, but it's like a scalp spray and it's like a shampoo that helps promote growth.
Ooh.
Because with her thyroid issue, her hair has thinned over the years and been kind of a frustration for her.
Right.
I have another good friend who takes some pretty strong meds for her arthritis, which has made her hair like thin and
medication
fall out.
can do terrible things.
Yeah, and
to your
so
hair
she is looking at that system and the black system, which initially was like targeted at men, but actually I use their black shampoo like every day. It's a 2-in-1, kind of like a clarifying shampoo.
And that's what I feel like I need is a good clarifying to clean my hair.
Yeah, I like the black shampoo a lot. And I guess one of the biggest things that I had to change is I have to shampoo my hair twice every day. So like, every bottle of shampoo, if you've ever looked at it, says, wash, rinse, repeat or whatever. I never repeated. Like, there's time for that. Well, so as I was learning more through, Monat, the first wash is really like breaking down all the dirt and stuff. And then the second wash really cleanses the hair. Oh. Totally makes sense, right? Like, I know, I had the same reaction. I was like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. So I do, I use a quarter-size amount each time for my length of hair. So, my mom uses, much smaller, like dime to nickel size because her hair is a lot shorter. But I will, I get it all in my hands and then I'll, put it in there, let it sit for a minute or two while I'm washing the rest of myself. And then I rinse it out and I do it again. And then I'll condition. Conditioner, I use like a pea-sized amount. And I really only put it in the bottom part of my hair.
Okay.
Our oils are usually enough.
And our head that you don't have to spread it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But it's good stuff and it's just different. And I like it a lot. Ronan uses the junior line. And I even like the smell of it. They have a junior line. They have a detangler. It comes with a shampoo.
Could I use that with Autumn? Is it young enough for that?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and people use it on their babies.
Good to know.
Infants. Yeah,
because I can't use Johnson's on my girls anymore.
No.
They've been rashing out randomly all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's funky. Yeah, Johnson & Johnson. I know. I used to use that stuff for him too, but then you start looking into what some of those like chemicals are, and you're like,
And I wasn't even investigating. I just saw like, why are you rashing out? And I literally went through everything, foods and lotions, detergents, nothing was different. And as soon as I switched her shampoo,
was okay. Yeah.
Totally fine.
That's scary, I know. I don't like that kind of stuff. Yes, Roman.
I was have some paper to draw on.
In a minute, yes. Actually, you know what? You could use this. Okay.
So see, we've been, what time is it? It's almost, it's almost been an hour.
Yeah,
it went by very quickly.
It did.
So wealth of knowledge, especially with, if you have a direct question with, you want to start getting on the essential oils, you're curious to learn, I'll put her contact information, add her, private message her, and she'll totally be willing
to. Yeah.
And she's a teacher mind, so she'll be able to really break down what the whole backstory is and how to really effectively use them.
Yeah, and some really good resources too that are out there, in Facebook lands and on the internet. I can kind of steer you.
Oh, very
that
true.
way if people are interested in learning a little bit more.
So remember to make sure to like, share, and comment, and she'll do a drawing later this evening, and then we'll announce it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Rona do it. I'll put your names into a little jar, and he can pull out.
And he'll pull out.
Yeah, the person. The winner. The winner.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was really fun.
I know, doesn't it feel? Everyone I have on here, it doesn't feel like you're live. You're just kind of chatting.
Yeah, it's nice. Well, one of the things I've been trying to do is get out of my comfort zone a little bit more and just expand my horizons, in general.
Yeah.
And I felt like this was a great opportunity to try that and to help you. And so why not?
This
is great. Yeah, more of you should do this.
More of you should go live.
Yeah.
If you want to go live with me, please message me, because you all are amazing and can offer something really good.
Yeah.
But have a great week. Midwinter break up.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. And next week I'm doing a live cooking show next week.
Fun. Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, because I'm terrible at this, of knowing what to make for dinner sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So the mom I'm having on, she's actually a friend of mine I've met at preschool.
Okay.
Our kids go there together. Yeah. She's really good at coming up with meals that are toddler and kid friendly, but also good for the family.
Yep.
So we're going to do send out your shopping list, and we're all going to cook together next week,
fun.
Wednesday.
Oh, cool.
I have no idea how it'll go.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that a lot.
If anything, it'll be entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Take care, guys.
Bye.